Welcome. We are going to learn how to make windows in Cinema 4D. As you can see, this will be the final scene. It's just a plane with the light, the shadow, and these windows which we will create. This is just a little basic modeling tutorial. So if we're ready, let's get right into it. We're going to go File, New Project. We're going to create a cube. On this cube, we're going to make, let's say, on the X, 800. On the Y, 500. And on the Z, let's go with 20. So this will be our wall. Let's bring it up. So it's just on the plane, the floor. Talking about the floor, let's create a floor, make the plane. Let's scale it up. Okay, and I like to use the lines to see all the lines while I'm working. So let's go with NB, which will show the gold shading lines. Now, with the cube, we still need to create the segments. We'll click on the cube. We'll go to the segments. On the X, let's make 5 segments. On the Y, let's do 3 segments. And I think that should be okay. Another thing that I like to do is back up my objects before I make them into editable objects, just in case. So I will Control C, Control V, there's the new one, Alt G to group it, and I will name it BU as a backup, and I will hold Alt, click these twice to make it invisible, and bring it down to the bottom of the hierarchy. So you have your cube. Let's label this. This is the wall, and then your plane, which is your floor. All right, let's put the floor under the wall, and let's continue. So now we can take the wall and make it an editable object by hitting C. All my tutorials, you will always have to learn the shortcuts, because as a professional, learning the shortcuts is the best way and the most efficient. It's always good to learn the quick keys. Okay, now we're going to go to the edges, and we're going to go UL, which is loop selection. Once you have the loop selection, use spacebar, which will jump to your previous selection. So spacebar. Now I will have the move tool, spacebar. It'll have the loop tool, spacebar. It'll have the move tool. We hold shift so we can move increments of 10, and let's go to around 90. We're going to go to the other side, UL, and we'll go 90 centimeters that way. All right, so there we go. We have created a little area where we want our windows. Let's do the top section, UL. We have selected it, spacebar, and let's go up, let's say 90 degrees as well. We can also do the bottom, spacebar, select it, spacebar, shift, go down 90 degrees. Okay, so we can say that's a, let's go up a little bit more. Let's say, let's keep them at 40 degrees rather. 40 centimeters, there you go. Okay, so now next we're going to extrude the face. So we're going to select the face, make sure you've selected the wall, select the window that we're planning to push. We're going to go MW, which is extrude inner. So we're going to extrude the inner lines, and we're going to go click and push inwards, you see, and we'll do around about 10 centimeters. If you look on the right, it'll say 10 centimeters. If you go to the one on the right and select it, you don't have to do it again. You can just hit apply, and it'll apply the exact setting you had in the previous one. All right, now we're going to go back to the first one, and we're going to go UL. We're going to get the loop selection. Excuse the noise if you can hear that. Okay, so now we're going to do another one, MW, and we're going to go just, let's say, another 5 centimeters. There you go. If you come to the other window, you can go back and hit apply, and it applies automatically. You don't need to do it again. Okay, now we can go to the back and select the face and delete these faces because we don't need them. We're going to create our own windows. So we're going to select this one. We're going to hit D, which is extrude, and we're going to push it out. Let's see what I have here. Let's go with around 40 centimeters. There we go. Now if you want, you can go to the next one, and you can either, if the apply doesn't work, you can just hit the button once up or once down and it will apply. There you go. Okay, now we're going to add some bevel so that the light catches the corners of all the windows. You're going to go to the edge mode, and we're going to come across to the first window, and you're going to go UL to get the loop selection, which is going to loop the edges. You're going to go MS, which is the bevel, and we're going to just push it out, let's say a centimeter. If you want to look, you can see the offset of a centimeter. There are no subdivisions in between, so you can make 2 subdivisions if you like. And if you see, the light will catch on there shortly. Let's do the other side, same thing, UL, select it, MS, and you can hit apply. If apply is not working, you can just hit that up once and down once, and there you go. It will take effect. See that? Now we can go back to the first one, and we can UL faces, select this face, and we could even extrude this out a bit or in a bit. Let's go out a bit to give it a bit of a depth. Now we want to select the lines, which you can just hold shift and you'll select the lines, but we don't want all of them, so we're going to go UL, select the outer lines, MS to go to bevel, and we're going to hit this up once and down, or you can have 2 centimeters, a little bit different to the first one. And you know what, let's also do the outside UL of the window, MS, that's to bevel, 1 centimeter, I beg your pardon. And now you can see it's give it a quick render. You see the light catching onto the edges because of the bevel. I recommend you always do that with most of your objects, even if it's a centimeter or 0.5. It really does a lot. So, you know, you may be thinking, why am I doing this every time, 2 times, or 2 windows? But I've been doing this to show you a point that there's a different way to make 2 windows by doing 1, which is called symmetry. So let me show you. You can do it this way that I'm doing, but there's another way. What we can do is we can go to mesh and go to line cut. Make sure that it's on split and it's visible only is deselected. We're gonna just make a line in the middle like that, and then we're gonna hit V, and then we're gonna go to our live selection tool, make sure that only visible elements is off, select all the polygons that you can, delete, delete, and there you go, that's been removed. If you want, you can come here, close polygon hole, just click, and then the polygon has closed, then the polygon is closed. Okay, so another way to do this is just to add a symmetry object. So you'll add the symmetry, you'll take the wall, drop the wall into the symmetry, and there you go, you have a symmetry of exactly the one side. Whatever you do on the left will happen on the right. So for example, if I take this window and push it out, so will the other one. There you go. Okay, so now another thing we can do is add the window panes, which is we'll add a cube, take the model tool, which is this on the left, the model tool, model, we'll bring it in. You can do this by eye. Then we'll just push it across, put it into the window, pick it up. You can always use your 4 views if you like, which is very helpful, but you can just, it's very basic. and you can Control C to duplicate, Control C, Control V, you push R to rotate, hold Shift to make it in 5-degree increments, and there you go. So now you want to do it on the other side, right? So you're going to take the two cubes that you've created and drop it in symmetry, and look what happens. Boom. It didn't work. Reason is you need to put all these into a null object. So select them all and go Alt G. Now they're in a null object and everything has been updated. The best thing to do is to also add fillets on all these lines, but with the cube, because it's still procedural, you can just go down to the bottom to fillet, hit fillet, just drop it down to 1 on that one, fillet, fillet, drop it down to 1, there you go. It will also update on the other side. Okay, well, if the wall is selected, now we're going to select the face, but before we do that, let's get a texture going. We're going to double click in the texture area, double click on the ball, and we're going to go transparency, and that's it. Just to show you, we're going to select the face. It's already selected. If not, select that face of the window, take your transparency and drop it in there, and there you go. The reason why we see this is because we changed in our options the transparency, which shows us in the viewport. Once that's been done, let's create a light. We'll go for an area light. We'll bring it up, we'll put it back a bit. We'll make it the same size as the window. We'll rotate it a little bit and we'll pick it up, pull it back a bit. Now we will go into the light settings and we'll go to shadows and we'll put the shadows on soft. There you go. Look at that. There goes your shadows. Now if you hit render, you will see there the lines, very soft. So what you can do is you can make it like, let me come in and make them hard so that you can see them better, ray traced hard. And now when you render, you can see your lights. So I also added a light in the front just so that you could see what's going on. I added a little bit of a temperature of a warm color coming from that side, and on the light outside you can add a warm temperature or a cooler temperature depending on what you feel for. It's just so that you could see the difference. So now when you render, you have your shadows and your light. You can bring it further back. There's many options that you could do. There you go. Well, I hope this tutorial helped you. It was just a small tutorial on modeling. If there's anything you need to know, please write in the comments. If you have any questions, in the comments. If you need me to do any tutorials, I'd love to do any for you if you think that you would look for some. And if you have any help or advice towards me and my tutorials, I'd be more than happy to listen. And thank you very much for your time and stay safe.